Mary Njeri Mburu, please have a seat. You do have a mic before you, a notebook and a pen, and sometimes water if you like. My name is Nelson Makanda. I am the chair of this selection panel, and allow me to thank you for showing interest in the advertised position of a member of the Commission of IEBC, but also congratulate you for being shortlisted for the same.
Thank you.
I want to invite my colleagues to introduce themselves before we do come to you, Madam Mary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Madam Mary.
Thank you.
My name is Linda Kiome. Yes. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this interview session. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Madam Mary, habari ya asubuhi.
Mzuri kabisa.
Naitwa Bwana Andrew Tanui, mwanachama wa chopo hili la uteuzi, na karibu.
Asante.
Miss Mburu, good morning.
Good morning.
Caroline Kituko is my name. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
My name is Adam Solo, a member of this selection panel.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
My name is Nicodemus Bore. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam.
Good
My
morning.
name is Fatuma Ali Samad, a member of the panel. Please feel welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mrs. Mburu.
Good morning.
And karibu sana. My name is Koki Muli Grinyo, and I'm a member of the panel.
Asante.
Good morning, Mary Mburu.
Good morning.
My name is Evans Misati. I'm a member of the selection panel, and we welcome you.
Thank you.
Asante.
Okay, thank you very much. We want to come to you, Mary. Kindly introduce yourself, highlight those things you think are significant in your profile that will aid in the work of the commission, which you have applied for. And let us know if you are a member of any professional group or society, and if you have received any award. Please proceed.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Njeri Mburu. Sometimes I'm called Wambugo because that is my husband's name. So some of the certificates have Wambugo. My earlier certificates in high school bear the name Wanjeri. Wanjeri was a nickname. So I dropped Wa and I kept Njeri. So you find those discord in the documents. I have a bachelor's degree in agriculture and a master's degree in business administration. Very early after my first degree, one of my professors who was very fond of telling me, you don't belong to this, doing pathology and all those things, told me you belong to business. And I believed him, and immediately I finished my first degree. I did a master's degree in business administration. 1994. After that, I worked shortly with the Trust Bank. I was rising from management training all the way to becoming a credit manager, and a job I did well. And after that, I had a short stint when the former president, Kibaki, Miraria, who was the Minister of Finance, disbursed the credit of procurement officers. I got an interest when I was in the bank. And I applied to go to Kenya Pipeline. I was taken. And I did a short 18 months. And we'll discuss about why I left that. It's part of what makes me who I am, because wanting to be a person of integrity. After that, I went to USAID, and I was actually headhunted from that information that came out, and I was headhunted. I worked at USAID supporting the regional platforms in DRC, Sudan, Southern Sudan, Congo. Sometimes I'll do a TDY, a temporary duty in Uganda, and all that. And then after that, 2013, I got an opportunity worldwide. They needed third country nationals to go and support critical missions, which were in Afghanistan. And I applied and I was taken very high level. That's a nutshell of what I've done. The reason why I applied for this position is I look at one thing, public trust at IEBC, and I was applying for this position in last IEBC because that is something which working with US government made me have a drive, seeing the way they do their things, seeing the way public leaders hold themselves. Working with them very high level, mission directors, ambassadors, wherever we went, they held themselves in high esteem. They were people of integrity. So that is what made me feel I would want to come and improve our public trust in IEBC. Integrity of the institution, looking at why should people working together not have a unified communication? Why wouldn't they have internal disputes solved before they came to the public? If they are delivering an election, how credible is that election if together themselves they are not having their own resolution of dispute? How do you look in public? That is what drove me into that. And I have strength in procurement. We did very high level procurement for US government in USD missions, both in Nairobi, overseas, and everywhere. And the first thing that comes into my mind is you are expected to act ethically. You've got to believe that whatever else you have does not matter. What matters is how does it look in the eyes of the public? And that is what drives me into thinking that if I have those ethos, how does the public look at IEBC? I should be in the IEBC Commission so that I can emphasize or I can contribute to that public, raising up the public image of IEBC. I have, professionally, I have achieved many awards. Both in Afghanistan, I got a meritorious award. It's in my file. Both in Liberia, in Haiti, in Afghanistan, I got all awards because of contracting high level with integrity. And I also supported the budgets in congressional budget justification, writing up documents saying this is why we need this money. Thank you.
So let's come to the thing you skipped. Why did you leave Kenya Pipeline?
Kenya Pipeline is a government institution, and I joined when Muraria, former Minister of Finance, called, send everybody home, and I applied and happened to be taken because I had not done procurement before. And I looked at what was going on. I stayed 18 months, if I'm not wrong. And it was untenable for me because the things I saw being done, I would write documents and then they are checked by somebody else. And there were a lot of things that did not please me. That time I was still very young. I had worked in a bank where the Asian bank I worked for, you were to justify everything you did. Why did you select this one, this supplier and not this one? And why did you do this and not this one? And it was something you discuss with the people. But I found in Kenya Pipeline, you don't discuss with anyone. Decisions have already been made. And it was untenable for me. I just left. I left the office one day and I never went back. And I wrote a resignation when I went home because I thought my life was in danger.
So suppose you encounter this at IEBC, do we expect a resignation?
I did that when I was a bit younger. Now I have worked for US government. I've worked for the best there is, money can buy. I have grown the thick skin. I know how to do the internal dispute resolution. I know how to do a consultative decision-making. Before, when I was younger, I could not go to my bosses and tell them because even going to head office, I was seated in PS10. PS10 is in industrial area. Coming to head office was a tall order. They will not even allow you. My former boss could not even give me an appointment but now I'm talking about a highly rated commission, which have got people of high integrity, people who have experience, people who are maybe my age or even more, or even younger. So it's up to me, the ones who are younger, to convince them, because leadership is all about, can I inspire you? Can I motivate you? Do I have a vision for you to follow? Is there a vision, a compelling vision, which you can follow? And am I inspiring you by how I communicate this vision? Am I motivating you? Is there a reason? Being a scholar of leadership have made me high level on top of what I was already. I was very high level at USAID as a TCN, third country national, but now I'm even more bold that I will not bolt out. I don't bolt out. We disagree, we have to come to a consensus. Currently in board meetings, we disagree on many things like technology buying, and we discuss, and until we come to a concession. My way is not always the right, but I have to also buy other people's ideas. That is called consensus. You come with a unified communication whereby you all agree and buy to it and have responsibility over it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Linda, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Madam Mary, apart from your professional experience, which I note that is vast and exemplary work you have done for USAID, as well as being in Family Bank as an executive director, and all the experience you've got from your professional undertakings. Now, apart from that, what other key skills and competencies do you bring to IEBC? Noting that the environment within which IEBC operates is a high level and high stake.
Oh, yes. When I was in the diplomatic missions, I would go to the field. For example, elections in Liberia were happening when I was there, and we were preparing as a mission. US missions, USAID missions, had all these projects that are supporting whatever cause was on the high level. So when it is election time, everybody in the contracting office looks at what are these programs, what are these projects which are going to do, that how is the population? So for me, coming with an experience of having seen different I can say countries like Liberia, Afghanistan, Haiti, how fragmented they are. What brought the fragmentation? As the technical team wrote the scope of work for me as a contractor, I was to look, is it contractable? Are these issues that are coming in the scope of work, are they the ones that we are going to contract around? Are they going to solve the issues that will come out in the elections? So for me, I'll be looking at ground level, ground zero. Where do we stand at this time? Because elections are different every time. So looking at 2027, I'm in 2025. What is it I can do early? I can start procurement process. We have the public eye looks at doing a last minute. IEBC is always doing a last minute. Why are we doing a last minute? Are there not planners there? And I'm not saying there is something wrong with that. Maybe it is the transformative, not procedural. I'm a transformative reader, not a procedural reader. Procedure you do to an extent, and that is where transformation and strategy meet, because you can't be a transformative leader if you're not a strategic person. You've got to know what are these procedures that are going to culminate into the process, the ABC, the procurement of materials, the transmission of deployment of technology to the field, the testing, sanitizing that, the audit of the registration register, all that. Is it ready? Are we showing the public we are ready? Are we talking about, oh, this much percentage is not being done? What are we doing as IEBC? We have to make sure, at least based on the parameters given in the Article 88, our mandate, we should be in a position to accomplish that well before. Thank you.
I have noted that you have given us two skills, or rather competencies, which is diverse elections experience in the international fields where you've had the direct experience in countries like Liberia in the election matters and also transformative leadership. Is there any other skills and specific skills and competencies?
Yes, financial budgeting. Looking at, does that budget reflect, does the budget reflect you going against your policies? Are you going against the act in the political parties? Have they nominated? And if they have not nominated the political person according to their own act, then how are they going to agree with the act of the IEBC? So first of all, they have to be within their own procedurally act within their own political parties act. So they must comply with that. So the oversight there is looking at their act as an IBC commissioner and seeing where is the gap. And if there is a gap, send them back. Comply with ABC so that when you bring this person, it sanitizes the process of IEBC, because all the way from nominating a candidate, if there is lack of following the procedures, then it is not going to come here and we sanitize the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. So specifically, would like to know which are these things, what measures does IBC put in place to ensure that all that you're saying, oversighting, happens? What are the specifics, things that IBC must put in place?
For example, does the candidate comply with the chapter Article 6? You know, have they nominated according to every public and I think even when you come to the nomination of candidates, they must be acting in accordance. I see all the time in the advert, they must comply with the chapter 6. Have they complied with the chapter 6? And there are very many elements of chapter 6. Person must be ethical, act with integrity. There is those qualifications that are required. Are they created by the Directorate of Criminal Investigation? Do they have anything balanced with the university where they went? Do they have the threshold? In a nutshell, how do they have the threshold to qualify as a candidate according to Chapter 6 and then according to the Party Nominations Act?
Thank you very much. I wish you well. And thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to ask Madam Koki Muli to ask you some questions. Koki, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Madam, what is an electoral calendar and what does it specifically contain?
Electoral calendar is a calendar showing when elections are supposed to happen. And it aligns with an electoral cycle. Electoral cycle in this country is 5 years. For who? President and other members of parliament, county assemblies, assistants, all that. An election...
Besides the election date, what else does it contain?
Election calendar starts with getting ready for elections. Election calendar is about when do we purchase things that are going to be used in the election? When do we deploy those things that have been bought? Do we have adequacy of those materials and equipment required in an election? An election calendar is like telling me certain dates. August, that is when we do our elections here. Before, we used to do the elections in a different time. There was even a time when I remember I had come back to the country in one of my R&Rs, and I found the elections were done in a different date. They were deferred. So if I stick to the election calendar, it's after 5 years of, it aligns with the election cycle. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by election date.
You are the one who said that the election calendar contains election date. And I asked you, besides the election date, what other things are in the electoral calendar? And I want to follow up that question with another
Yes.
one. Why do you think it is so critical for IEBC to prepare an elections calendar, and when should they do that? Or when do they actually do that? Because they do that.
All right. Now I think I internalize that. Election calendar starts when one election is done. The next one, we start the next, because you start by looking at what was the problem? What are the gaps? You audit the other election. How did it go? How can we prepare for the next? Because I believe IEBC is a commission that does not just do one election. It's not appointed to do just one election. So they go through the cycle of elections. So an election calendar starts when the other election have finished. So if you are getting in as a commissioner when one election have already been done, election calendar has already been started. And it doesn't have to start with the commissioners, because there are people in IEBC who are doing the preparation for the next election, looking at the gaps, looking at what are these, what happens, what did work, what didn't work, what were the challenges, what are the opportunities, and
for example, in Liberia.
Yes.
You said you are there during the elections of Liberia.
Yes.
Have you ever seen an elections calendar? Or did they have one in Liberia?
No, I did not see any.
Okay. Thank you very much, and
okay.
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. FCP Tanui, please.
Thank you, Chair. Mary, which
Yes.
profession do you belong?
I belong to multiple profession. I am an ACCA. I'm a chartered accountant. I have an ACCA in front of my name. I am in good standing with ACCA. I've done the follow-up CPDs. I do them every year. Unlike a CPAK, where you don't lose your profession, in ACCA, I can be told to do Section 3 if I don't do the continuous.
Which other one? You said you belong to many, so which other one?
Something American government call FAXI. I'm a profession in that, because I finished CON 360. It's in my file. CON 360 is contracting for decision makers, where they don't.
Which other one? You have told us many. So which is the third one?
I'm a leader.
You know, profession. When I say you're a professional, it means a skill that you've been trained, examined, and certified.
I've gone through the Institute of Directors. I have a certification from Institute of Directors as a leader.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm picking it up from where you told us you are a transformational leader.
Yes.
And not a procedural leader. Now, IEBC has a mandate that is highly procedural. If anything, highly regulated. You can't do anything in IEBC outside the legal framework. So how would you, given an opportunity to be an IEBC commissioner, how would you be able to deliver on the mandates of IEBC if you are not a procedural leader? Thank you.
Panatanui, maybe I didn't express myself well. What I said, or what I would want to clarify, is that I'm not only a procedural leader, because a procedural leader follows strategy, follows plans, and follows the lay down milestones that are going to be achieved in the strategy. I said I'm not only a procedural, and also a transformative, because procedural is those add up into budget. So the budgetary procedure will be, first of all, take stock of what activities are involved, what activities are being carried out by the IEBC. And then you associate each of those activities with a cost. And then how do you come up with the costs? How do you know that it will cost A and not B? Because there are people who are financial experts, who are financial analysts. And I was one of that when I was working for USAID Fingertips. Is it adequate? Does it adequately cover that? Or will I need to go back? And I think the budgetary process have to be very thorough, identifying each of the cost centers. And not only do they swallow the costs, are they going to be inflated? Are we considering things like inflation? Are we looking at if it is traveling to where IBC have got satellite offices, what are the costs going there?
Thank you. I think that's okay with me and the panel. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to ask Misati to ask some questions. Misati, please.
Thanks so much, Chair. Mary Njeri.
Thank you.
I also wanted to ask you a question related to the presidential elections. When IBC issues the statutory forms where the presidential candidates fill, what is the number of voters who are supposed to fill their signatures and IDs?
I didn't get you.
When the IBC chairman issues statutory forms, the forms that the presidential candidates fill for the people to nominate, the number of people who sign and give their ID numbers. The sponsors.
The sponsors?
Yes.
Memory, I cannot accurately recall, but I knew 2000 was a number some time back.
Good. Now, in preparation for the 2027 general elections, if you are successful and you are a commissioner, please mention some of the activities, specific activities you'll be able to carry out as a commission in preparation for the 2027 general elections.
All right, I'll do, first of all, a reprocurement. As a new commissioner, first of all, before I even jump into procurement, I will look at the stock, go and look at the commission. What does the commission have? Do we have the BVLs? Do we have KIMS kits? What are their positions? Do we have any technology that was procured before? Because I don't believe in procuring things every cycle of elections, but use what you have, because that is what an entrepreneur does, is to use what you have and improve it. So I will start with early procurement of anything that is required in 2027. And before I do even the procurement, I will first of all come up with there's something the citizens of this country have been asking, that is the boundaries. And they are talking about, it is in the papers, minimum of 8 years, 12 years maximum. We are on that verge, but that is a gap, which I take as a challenge, but is an opportunity, because it's a challenge because the political class are looking at their boundaries may be changed, they may be interfered with, there may be not enough money, all these things, they are challenges, but they are opportunities because the citizens are asking. And what are we trying to do is put these, revamp or return back the credibility of IEBC. So first of all, the delimitation of boundaries. And we can do that even if we don't have funds, because I know I have worked in this world where we were doing development world, where there are grants. We can get funding to do delimitation. So once we do the delimitation, we have raised the public eye up, then we talk about it, and then we go to procedures. Start early procurement. look at the whole system from procurement, from deployment of technology to deployment of that technology. How is that technology? Do an audit of that technology. Is it up to date? We understand in 2017, a lot of the reason why we had issues is because a lot of those kits, they were not malfunctioning. So are they ready to go? Are they okay? Then, and before that, I was still struggling, but I was still, most important, voter registration. What are we doing in voter registration? Are we following our the constitutional chapter 4, where the people have a right to be able to vote? Are we enabling that? Are we going to register these people? So as the commissioner, I will kick in 3 things. First of all, with other commissioners, come up to an agreement in a boardroom like this. What is the priority? Delimitation.
That's okay. That's okay. That's enough. Now, let me take you back to what you have mentioned about the boundary limitations. Please mention to the panel and the Kenyans who are watching you, as from where you stand as a commission, if you are given an opportunity, what are some of the challenges you foresee in boundary limitation in view of the timings?
The timeline is the biggest challenge. Timeline, because we are already on, it's supposed to have happened in May, but we can still do it. That is the biggest challenge, timeline. We are already on 12 years since it was done in 2012. We are already in 2025. That is the biggest challenge. The next challenge would be the political class. People not wanting their places to be hived off. And then there is funding part of it. It could be challenging. And also ethnic dissatisfaction. And because Kenya, we lie to ourselves, Kenya is very polarized on ethnic lines. If we say, like, I'll take a county like Nakuru, because that is where they were talking about high population. And I read it in the media, it's not, I looked at it in the media. And when I look at that, if Nakuru is going to have delimitation, on what basis was it selected? That will be the citizens. You know, people are polarized already, so they'll be questioning. So as you come to delimit these boundaries, you've got to be very careful about the public view of what you're doing and where you're doing it and why you're doing it. So you must come out very early and tell people, because of those issues, we have said a credible institution. So when they are in the hall, together with the observers, the UNDP will be saying, this register is clean because we were involved in the registration. We are involved in the process. We have known these people. We work together. And our observers are not just there to come and tell whoever they are representing how the election is going. They are going to look at us. Are we following our own procedures? If we involved them, we were co-creators with them, this process. So we have already convinced them we are going to deliver a credible election results. So to us, they are going to buy in early. So when we were observers, let's say I participated once when I volunteered myself when I was at US Embassy Nairobi. And when we were going in, we were head on one mandate. Did our youth bunges, how did they participate? Was there violence? Why were there no violence? Like, for example, where we had our youth bunges, there were no violence because they bought in early. So election observers, you make them partners. You partner with them early enough in the election. You work with them during the process. When you are deploying the kits, you are calling them. When you are doing the audit of those KIMS kits, you are calling them to be observers. So they are going to actually stand with you during the voting process and delivery of the results, because they know those KIMS kits have already been sanitized. So election observers are going to be partners? I would push for them being partnered with from the beginning to the whole end. Thank you.
I'm still waiting for the policy framework that would guide all that you have said, and particularly in terms of accreditation, engagement, and feedback. What you've described, the activities, the engagement. So which policy framework would guide all that?
Our constitution is the major policy shaper, because according to our constitution, we invite observers. Are they acting in their own interest? Because if they are not acting in accordance to the law, you know, there are three things. And any time there is an election or there is a meeting high level, we are looking at, is it within the law? That is the most important. Number two, we are looking at, is it consultative? Have they convinced us they are going to be impartial? Because there can be observers who are partial. So they have to be within the policy of the constitution. They have to be act with accordance to IEBC Act, because there is a way IEBC Act includes in the observation these observers. So we look at that.
Thank you. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to invite Nicodemus Bore to ask you some questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Madam Njeri.
Yes.
You currently work as a director at non-executive director at the Family Bank.
Yes.
And I'm sure you joined in when they had already put up technology to support financial systems.
Yes.
And even from your CV, it indicates you are a fintech person.
Yes.
Now, technology has been used to solve problems.
Yes.
And also, it has caused problems in our elections.
Yes.
What's your approach to balancing the benefits of technology vis-a-vis the risks, especially around credibility and security?
Thank you. Risks and security are two like twins, they go together. Security of an IT system will go along with the risks associated with that IT system. And I would correct you and say, when I joined Family Bank, there was a system and there is a system. I've been involved in selecting a system, and we are buying a system. We improve the system that is there. So the system technology is invaluable asset in IEBC. We've got to use technology. Technology, rightly, Mr. Bora, you said it has brought problems. Why? Did we do it the right way? Did we buy the KIMS kit in time? Did we do studies, we do sampling so that we can look at a population. When it comes to election, it has to be. There's so many thousand kits that are going to be used. We've got to do a 90% checkup of them, because all of them you transmit. We want to have maximum. The world level allows plus minus 5% error, degree of error. So I'm talking about, we must have 95% confidence level that our BVRs are going to deliver results correctly and on time. We must have 95% confidence level that our registration kits are going to register without errors. So technology can be used and is being used, and I use it all the time, and we use it all the time in the bank. We mine the data. So I first of all use the technology to mine the data. Look at how can we mine the data in the past to know what went wrong. Was that data sanctified? If the data was wrong, then even if you use the best technology, there will be wrong results. So first of all, do the audit of what is technology we are using. Have we been updating it? How are we patching it? When I am a risk and compliance board chair, And the first thing we look at is the sanity of our system. Do we have a DR, that is the data recovery? Do we have the data center? The data center, how does it sit? Does it replicate 100% with the DR? If something fails, can we replicate? Can we remove? So technology is the best thing that can happen, Mr. Bore, and we must have the best technology. And how we make sure that technology works for us is IEBC will procure or update or improve the technology that is existing, but we must have an independent technology auditor who will give us the information that this actually works. We need a second or even a third eye. And because IEBC is a very important system, commission, and I can tell you this, and I'll regress because of the question you have asked. Why are we fighting to have a credible election? It's because things, when they go wrong, I was a bit younger when the former commission chair mentioned that he cannot even tell who was a winner, and he was staying near somewhere I was living, and the country almost burned. So we want to give Kenyans credibility of IEBC so that they can believe in the results we are going to transmit, that they will know the technology was looked in, there was audit of it, there was check 100%, 95% confidence, and we shall announce that in the papers. We shall put in all the media that this is the process. In procurement, this is where we are, and we'll go on. Allow me, Chair, to share sad stories of the countries where I've been. I've been in Haiti, and Haiti was burning because of lack of democracy. People having a second thought about the leader. I'm giving when I went to Liberia I went 2015 beginning, and I found a country that was debilitated by Ebola, but the governance was a problem. So I was applying for this position because I have seen with my own eyes what a country without proper democracy, where the rule of law does not work, where people can go. People become salvage. So we must make IEBC a creditable institution. We must have the integrity of the institution very high up there. And we must consult. We must consultative. We must convince the Kenyan population that we are that commission that is going to deliver a credible result. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Njeri.
Thank you. I invite Professor Adam Solo, please.
Thank you, Chair Mary. You are going to a very, very high voltage area. And when the chair asked you why you left pipeline,
yes,
you said you felt your life was in danger.
Yes.
And he told you where you are going.
Yes.
It's not just danger.
Yes.
Election officials have died. It hasn't been explained up to now. 3 women are living in exile, whether you agree with them or not. It's tougher than pipeline. Do you still want this job?
Yes, I want this job because it's not tougher than Afghanistan. It's not tougher than Haiti. It is not tougher than Liberia. Afghanistan, yes. Life-threatening, living in a hutch, flying in an open helicopter.
Yes.
And because I believed in the work I was doing, the US government employed me as a diplomat there to be able to make a difference. Specifically in one of my certificates is we were trying to bring down the barriers of women. Women were not allowed to vote. They were not allowed to do all those things. So you move from the high tower, you come down to where the people are. Try to understand the issues. What is making these humans behave the way they are behaving? Elections are not without being scathed. They are about what you believe in. Are you ethically right? Do you love your country? I had an opportunity to become a US citizen, but I did not. because I saw those Americans the way they were saying, every negotiation memorandum I did, because when you do a contract, you finish with a memorandum of negotiation. You were to sign, and whatever I have negotiated is in the best interest of US government. The US government is held high by their people. When we are out there in Afghanistan, when you had a blue badge, I had another color badge because I was a third country national. They knew when they were holding their badges up that if there is evacuation, they'll be first.
Mary,
the second person would be me.
You keep on giving the example of the US government, Afghanistan.
Yes.
I would rather you give me the Kenya government and pipeline, why you felt the Kenya government would not protect you in pipeline, because that is the US, this is Kenya.
Okay.
And you want to be a commissioner.
Thank you, Professor. In Kenya government, yes.
Where I'm telling you, election officials have died.
Yes.
Hasn't been explained until now. 3 women commissioners are in exile.
Yes.
So give me an example that is real.
All right. To be a commissioner in IEBC in Kenya is not a crime, and I'm a Kenyan, and I'm there to protect my constitution. And I'm not afraid at all in whatever comes on the way, because what have a reaction have an action have a reaction. What triggered them, I don't know. I know not why they left. But first of all, I know any one time you're working as a team and you're going behind the team, you're about to feel uncomfortable. Kenya Pipeline, I was very young, and I didn't leave because I was threatened in life. I left because I didn't like the practices that were going that time. I was 39 years old when I was working, very young. Now I've grown the thick skin.
Are you withdrawing your earlier statement that you felt your life was in danger?
I said that?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yeah, I'm withdrawing that. Because the reason why I left really was I didn't like the malpractices and people putting, I would say that, let me correct. Professor Magara was on the dock, Minister of Finance, and I recall telling my boss that I'm not going to be another Magara to be on the dock there, and I don't know what happened in procurement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My last question.
Yes.
The temptation or pressure to bend the rules when you are in high-profile institutions are real.
Yes.
Especially from powerful quarters.
Yes.
Can you tell us how you would stay true to your mandate, even when it's politically and individually costly?
That's a tough one. With my experience and my years, you take stock of what is happening around, and there is always that people wanting you to do things otherwise. You stay true to your ethics, the ethical consideration you put in coming to IEBC. That ethical consideration should be the guidelines, should be the baseline, which you build all your other actions. Number 2, you've got to consult with your peers. You are not in the commission alone. Why should we take this position, and what is the impact on the Republic of Kenya? What is the impact on the electorate? So if you cannot come to a consensus, and you must come to a consensus, then you must agree to move away from that particular decision. So it's not Mary, they are making a decision about a political position, a political influence. It's a consultation with a commission-wide way of communicating and decision making. So it will not be Mary dissenting and leaving and going to give a different conference. It's a communication that have got a concerted responsibility. And there are protocols in the commission who is a public communicator. So you all sit in that boardroom and agree. And the enticement of the political is not, of political class high level is not different. It is done all over, even in US, everywhere. And I won't give those examples because I'm talking about Kenya. It's real. And I've seen, I've read about it, but it is all about your disposition. Are you ethically right? Can you convince the others? Like I said, as a leader, do you have those motives to convince others? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Prof, do you have the short questions, please?
Sure. Mary.
Yes.
Who is the current CEO of IEBC?
Oh, I pass that.
Which two African cities, I'm taking you to a more familiar ground,
Yes.
Which two African cities are major financial hubs on the continent?
Cities Johannesburg, and in West Africa we have Accra, Ghana.
In North Africa?
In North Africa, that should be Egypt.
Egypt is a country. I asked.
Cairo, sorry. Cairo.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We would like to thank you for your time. We have learned a lot from the interaction, and we would like to thank you for spending your time to prepare for this interview. Do you have any comment or question?
My comment would be, I had put in my file a parting shot of what I would want to do if I'm elected as a commissioner, and mine will be consultative, and that is why I didn't ask for a position of a chair. I asked for a position of a member because I believe a chair should be somebody else. And if elected, if appointed in this position, I'll be consulting, and I'll be looking into the public image of IEBC. I'll be more concerned about procedures in procurement, procedures in budgeting, procedures that make the public feel like they want to reach IEBC. And I want to thank you all sincerely for having me, giving me this opportunity to come and talk to you about my intention to join the IEBC. With that, thank you so much.